How the f am I supposed to get over this board? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's me again. We're gonna be playing Branded Despia again. I know it's my favorite deck. Like I said, I play it 95% of the time. I love it. I love to just mess with the deck, swap in and out cards. It's just my favorite deck ever. So I've got 5 replays for you guys today. Really good games too. Also. So hopefully I get to showcase some of the newer cards that I've added to my deck since the last time I showed you guys this video. So right now the deck, this version that I'm playing, I feel like is the best version of the deck. I felt like the deck itself didn't really have any back row removal, so I kind of teched in a couple back row removal cards aside from just running Duster. I noticed that a lot of people that do play Branded Despia tend to not run any back row removal just because it is such an oppressive deck. But I have found that as you climb up in the ladder and you start getting closer and closer to Diamond, it's kind of important that you have those types of things because people do tend to edit their decks as well to combat what they're going to be playing against or what they're seeing a lot of. So you do find yourself having to constantly change your deck, move cards in and out. Especially since there's no side decking in Master Duel right now. It's something that you kind of tend to have to do, but I'm not griping about it. I think it's fun to be able to just kind of continuously edit a deck over and over just to make it the most fun version of it for you. But without further ado, let's get into the replays. All right, so we have made it to the first game, and I'm actually going first. So as you guys can already see, there's a card that we've teched in. It's a Floodgate, where I believe I'm only playing Summon Limit as a one of, but if you watch my last video, you've already heard my conspiracy theories about how Master Duel does with their RNG, so I'm not going to go over that again, but pretty decent hand to start off with. We have also gone over how much I love Branded Lost. Literally, I think it's one of the best cards in the whole deck that I don't see a lot of people play. It's a great card. I will explain what it does in a moment, but let's get into the plays. With this deck, obviously, or with this hand, I'm going to want to just start with doing Branded Fusion first. Doing Branded Lost first, rather, then going into Branded Fusion so that my fusion summons cannot be responded to. So if my opponent were to have Imperm or Veiler, they are now not able to do that because I have Branded Lost on the field. So you always want to do Branded Lost first, especially if you have it like how I just did. Or if you have an Aliber in hand and you already had Branded Fusion like I just did, you would summon the Aliber, then you can search for the Branded Lost so you can still do this play basically. And that's just going to protect these fusion summons here. So also, we're going to be able to search for a monster negate as well, being the Mercurier. So now we are not able to be nibbed, which is awesome. We also can't be ashed. I'm going to search for... We search for Aliber. I'm not sure why I searched for Aliber here. Not sure why I searched for Aliber. Oh, actually, I do know why I searched for Aliber. So, because I hadn't used my normal summon yet, I'm going to use Aliber to grab the Branded Red. So I'm saving Mirror Jade's ability, basically. Go ahead and use the Aliber so I can have it in the graveyard just in case Mirror Jade goes away. You can use it as a negate on the next turn. We're just going to go into a Tax Dragon. And we'll set these two. And your move. Opponent is playing Pendulums. I go ahead and flip the summon limit early. I will say that you shouldn't do this. Wait until your opponent starts to actually summon before you flip summon limit. That may be common knowledge to people, but just in case it's not, for anybody watching that maybe you've never used this card before, or maybe you want to use this deck. If you're gonna use summon limit, wait until people actually start summoning before you do it. In this case, it worked out. My opponent basically just kind of wants to find a way to play around summon limit this whole time. So they're going to get burned every single time they activate a card for 600, which is really good. Also, another thing that you could do here, or that I feel like I should have done, that could have been better, would be go ahead and activate the Branded in red. And we just go ahead and go into another Tax Dragon. Save this card. Go into another Tax Dragon so it's 1200 instead. And of course, we still have our Banish. That's the only thing that I would have said would have been better, but he's gonna go ahead and activate a bunch of things. Now I'm activating my Branded in red. Like I said, should have done it sooner, but it's okay. we're just going to go into another Tax Dragon anyway. And I'm also going to go ahead and use my Mirror Jade as well, because he's already used up his second summon. So unless he can get rid of summon limit, you know, he's going to be getting burned the entire time. So he's going to see what he can do. He's adding cards right now. And he's just going to continuously get burned here now for 1200. He's activating so that he can pop this summon limit. But man, he's going for a pretty lengthy chain here. He's already on chain link 2. And of course, since I fusion summoned, I can activate Branded Lost as well. Search for another card, which is going to be Albaz. He's going to try to summon the Sorcerer. I'm just going to go ahead and activate the Mercurier to negate Sorcerer. So now he's only able to really activate one more time at this point with a 1500 monster, not even able to attack over what I have on the field already. It's basically over. I'm going to search for an ad-lib just because there's really nothing that my opponent can do. Pops a summon limit so that he can summon again, but again, he can activate one more time. And because all of his activations are just adding cards, he can't really do anything. So that'll do it for game 1. Let's hop into game 2. Alright, we're hopping into game 2. I show myself going first. I always want to show myself going second, especially when I am doing any kind of, you know, deck profiles or showing people how to play a certain deck. I want to show you going first and second. So as you can see, we're going up against Sword Soul. As far as the hand is decent, especially since we're going second. It's a decent hand. Having Mercurier is good. You know, even if we don't get into Branded Lost, it's always good to have Mercurier already. Also have it ad libitum as well. So really good in Perm and Ash. So we'll see what our opponent has. Summons a Shuna immediately and goes into the Monk. He's then going to go into Taya. So going into Taya, we know for sure he doesn't have Moye. And the only other thing that I would have been worried about was if he had Yugioh already in the hand, but looking at the way that he was playing, he had Crossout Designator in his hand. So I'm like, oh, okay, so he doesn't, I don't think he has anything to really combat, you know, my hand necessarily. So he's gonna stop the Imperm, which is fine. Still have our Ash, and I'd definitely much rather him Imperm or hit the Imperm instead of my Ash. So he's gonna go ahead and search. So right here, I'm gonna Ash the Taya, and the reason why I do this is because earlier he used Ashuna. He banished Ashuna with his Taya, and I felt like what he was gonna do, because we know he only has 2 cards in his hand now, and I don't believe that they're Sword Soul cards. I believe that he's going to put Adhara in the graveyard, use Adhara, bring back his Ashuna, and he's going to search for Yugioh with the Grandmaster, obviously, and then he can go into his Baron plays, which would make this game a whole lot harder. So that's why I asked the Taya to just stop that from even possibly happening. And he ends up going for the Golden Sword Soul, which it's not a terrible card, but I'm not really sure why he used it. When a monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, negate that attack. Then if you control a fusion, yeah. So aside from negating an attack, it's not gonna do anything against us. So, you know, that's what he chooses to search for. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and use our Branded Opening. Now I throw away the Mercurier because I don't want to get rid of either, not that I don't want to, but it didn't really matter what I did. My entire hand was going to have to be used, so I might as well grab a card that I can use to search for instead of just having a monster negate that is technically inactive right now because I don't meet the conditions for this to even negate anything. So we're gonna go ahead and use our polymerization, and he's gonna max CS. So getting rid of Mercurier was perfectly fine because it would have done literally nothing for us right here. So we're gonna summon Croritis, and the reason that we go into Croritis,
a motherfucking down
Q. The reason that we go into this card is because I need him to use this negate. before I go into any of my other plays. I need him to use up this negate. If I send it to 0, he's gonna want to stop that. So, which now that I think about it, is kind of interesting that he chose to negate it. I think I probably would have saved the negate. Obviously, I did it so that I could get him to use his negate, but I think if I'm the Sword Soul player, I would not have negated this card simply because he searched for that golden Sword Soul card, which would have negated the attack anyway. So that's my 2 cents on that, but it actually worked out. We were trying to get him to negate anyway, and that's exactly what he did. So now we are completely free to do whatever we want. And we're gonna go into our, what are we going into? Albion. Yes, we're gonna go into Albion. Albion's gonna activate so it can summon our Mira Jade. So we're gonna activate that, and we're going to toss the Grandmaster. And he's going to scoop. So even under Maxi, he chooses to scoop, which is kind of crazy because he got, what did he get out of that? Like 3 draws? And he would have gotten a draw on his next turn anyway. Not really sure why he chose to give up right there, but hey. All right. We are in our 3rd duel. And I actually was debating on whether or not I would even upload this duel. Because obviously, as you saw, it was a 7-turn duel. I'm going to speed up my opponent's turn, but you'll quickly find out why it's a 7-turn duel and why I chose to upload this. So he's going to go ahead and activate Salesman. If you haven't seen Salesman, this card basically can negate any card, and the only drawback of it is that you are not allowed to use that card at all for the rest of the duel. So in this case, he uses it, he calls Ash. Now I'm not able to use my Ash on this turn. However, it does show that he was pretty desperate because it seems like he didn't have anything in his hand. He really needed this pot to go off. So that's why he used his Salesman to make sure I wasn't able to use Ash. And of course, he's playing for Lana Reese, so he's going to be able to go into as many plays as he can. Summoning basically everything. Puts both cards back in hand. And he gets to search for the trap, sets a trap, and he puts a floodgate out. So now I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. Like, my hand, before even drawing, without drawing a card, my hand is pretty fucking good. I know that I can activate Aliber. I know that I can activate Branded Fusion without worrying about getting ashed. So I don't have to worry about any of those things. All I need to do is get rid of this card. So we draw into a perfect fucking card, being the Edge Imp. I'm going to search for Branded Loss, of course, because we already have Branded Fusion in the hand. We went over this. He's going to activate going to Robina. But now, he doesn't have any... He already put his cards back in his hand, so now he's not able to use Robina. So I'm going to Ash it. Can't do anything about it. Love that. And I'm going to go on about my business. So I'm going to go ahead and put Branded Loss down. And now we are free to fusion summon. We are going to go ahead and go into Ad Libitum. And our opponent is not able to respond to anything because this card is fucking amazing. So, Ad Libitum, we're also going to search for our Monster Negate. Nice, nice. I'm going to grab Ad Libitum. And we're going to go ahead and go into Mirror Jade. Right? Bow. And Edge Imp. I'm going to go ahead and activate Mirror Jade on Summon as well. And we're just going to toss the M pin because we don't want to deal with that. Activate. Wow, I did not realize how many of like this rarity that I had. Look at this. Fucking crazy. All right, anyways. Now we can poly using our Mirror Jade as material with our Dramaturge and our Ad Libitum, because we can now draw 2. Even though, yes, we kind of don't want Robina in the graveyard. In my head right now, I'm just thinking, okay, this is just, you know, regular shit. But it quickly turns into not regular shit. once we get our Mirror Jade back, I'm gonna pop Robina, right? And there we go. We still like, how long? Since when is somebody able to keep Harpy Feather Duster in their hand this long, right? But whatever. This is why. This is why this duel took 7 turns. It wasn't the Floodgate. No, not the Barrier Statue. No, of course not. It's this fucking card that should be limited to 1 if you're gonna have Rongo stay in the game. But I digress. He's able to summon Rongo. He already used his Sales Band, so luckily for me, he didn't have another Sales Band. On Summon of the Street, I'm gonna banish it, so he's not able to do any other Floowandereeze plays. He's going to hit my Mirror Jade. Albion's going to grab me Branded Fusion. But because of Rongo, I'm not able to normal or special summon right now. I get a lure. I just wanted to see if there was anything that I could get. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything. So, boom. That can't really do anything at all. He has to get rid of some materials though. So now I'm able to summon. He's just now unaffected. So, you know, that's all. He's just unaffected. That's it. And he's going into all the plays. I'm going to Droplet, hit the Eaglin. That way he's not able to normal summon again. Because this has to resolve in order for him to normal summon. So if we negate this, we at least can survive another turn. We don't want him to be able to just get to go into Floowandereeze plays because he has a fucking an illegal ass card. Like, this card should not be legal at all. It just should not be legal at all. Especially, like, why does this exist? What the fuck? Anyways. So now, the other downside is that, of course, Rongo's gonna keep all its fucking materials until my turn is over. But, again, we just kind of have to deal with it. We're gonna go for a lure. A lure is gonna give us such a perfect fucking draw, man. We get Cosmic Cyclone, another card that I've teched in, which I'll go over this at the end of the video, but just to, you know, kind of highlight it. Really, really good card for back row removal. Easy card to tech into this deck. We're gonna go ahead and activate that. Toss this, and it's another one of these fucking cards, but whatever. We're gonna activate this. We're gonna go back into Lubellion. Now, right here, I only did these plays the way that I did because I knew that this was going to lose its material at the end of the turn, which means it was going to start being affected, which means I can literally do whatever I want. So that's why I chose to go into Lubellion here, is because it literally does not matter. It just doesn't matter. So I decided to go into Attack Dragon just to add insult to injury. Search for Branded Opening just because it didn't really matter. And then we go into Ad Libitum. Now, because I want to bring back my Mirror Jade using Ad Libitum, and I also want to make sure I can burn him for 1200 damage. So now we're set up perfectly. We were able to survive all these plays. Still have Harpy Feather Duster in our deck. You're going to eat 1200 because Rongo has to get rid of its material. And now Rongo is affected. I can get it the fuck out of here. And because I know the game is over, I flip Summon Limit. I know we went over this. Don't flip this until people start summoning. But because I know it's Floowandereeze, and I know that there's absolutely nothing he can do now at this point. Why not? Why not? So, if you've watched enough of my videos or you watch enough of my streams, you know I hate Floowandereeze. I hate it so much. And the fact that they can now just put Rongo in the deck, you can just play it and win, it's annoying. Alright. Getting into the 4th duel now. This one is not going to be fucking 7 turns. But we always like to survey the hand. Just look at what we have. This hand is honestly not that great. Having Called By is good, at least because we have Branded Fusion. But Branded Fusion is really the only play that we have in our whole hand besides Allure. We could throw away Mercurier at this like worst case scenario, but obviously we wouldn't want to do that. So as far as the hand goes, this is a decent hand. And of course we get ashed. Like I said, I always assume that your opponent can ash you. So for me, And this is why I also post replays, because when I'm playing, it takes me a little while to like get through my plays, because I honestly I think of every single possible scenario before I play, and so it takes me a little while. So I would rather just do my replay so I could just show you, you know, where my brain was when I was doing what I was doing. So of course we're going into regular stuff right here. We're going into Lubellion. We're under Max C. We're gonna toss the Allure. At this point, we really can't do anything with it. Opponent's gonna imperm our Lubellion. This is what makes the hand great. When we get Veilered or impermed while we have Branded in red, you can easily dodge this shit, and it's a free extra monster. We're already gonna go into Mirror Jade using Lubellion's effect, but now we're able to use Branded in red to get an extra fucking monster out of all this. And of course, it's a negate. So we're under Max C. Our opponent has used 3 different cards so far, so he's really only +1 right now. Now +2 because of Mirror Jade. And then we're gonna activate Oliver, and we're just gonna grab a Branded in red. I don't even want to use my Mirror Jade's ability. I'm just going to go into this. So now we've got non-targeting banish. We have our targeting negate, and then of course we can go into another monster as we see fit using this, and then we have our monster negate in our hand. So pretty good. He's gonna droplet, which is very unfortunate, but look at what he throws away. This I found this so weird, because like, why throw away Call by the Grave when you saw me search for Branded in red? Call by the Grave counters Branded in red. Why would you not? But hey, to each his own. It's a Samorg deck. I didn't even really get to see what it does because I just shut it down. So we're gonna negate with Mercurier here. He's gonna summon another card. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Branded in red. I don't want him to have any cards on the field. I don't know if this deck links a bunch or what it does. I even activate Mirror Jade only because obviously it sends for cost. So being able to throw Albion in the grave is perfect, so we can get starters for next turn, just in case it goes that route. Currently doesn't have a monster strong enough to even attack over Mirror Jade, so that's great as well. Mercurier is going to negate this card. This card's going to activate. And then of course we're going to activate our Chimera, which we use 2 cards on the field. So we'll be able to pop both of these, and we'll get a draw as well. And I love being able to search before I draw. I love that so much. Dude, look at this. I've seen some of them in like every single duel we've had. We get some of them, but again, beautiful. Just, you know, I love that so much. I haven't played against that deck before, but I did look at the deck profile after this duel and saw that he was running like Apex Avian and Barrier Statue and shit. So don't feel bad for this guy. Fuck this guy. Next duel. All right. This is our 5th and final duel, and we are going second. I am going to speed this up because we're going against dinos. So we're going second. We're going against dinos. We don't have any form of interruption. So all we can do is cross our fingers and hope. When I saw what they were able to put out, I was like, holy shit, how am I supposed to be able to attack? How am I supposed to do anything over this? Like, even with what I have, like, it didn't really feel achievable. But if you've ever played against dinos, you know how long the combos can take. It's all about popping the baby, summon the baby, pop the baby in the hand, summon the baby back out of the deck, pop the baby that you summon. Like, it's just, it's madness. And they're just able to constantly go. So with no nib, you're liable to do whatever you want, which is great for you, but it really sucked for me. Pop the baby again, activate, grabbing another one. Union Carrier. Once I saw Union Carrier, I was like, oh, bro, he's about to lock me out of my extra deck. I just knew it. And of course, he fucking did. So, just to pause real quick, if you've never played against this card locks you out of your extra deck. While this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from their extra deck. So he has Omni Negate. Before doing anything else, he's got Omni Negate and my extra deck is locked. Before he's not even done. Now he goes into Lagia. What does Lagia do? This is a card that you don't see very often. But Lagia Basically, quick effect. If a spell, trap, monster effect, whatever, normal, special, whatever the fuck, it says no. Detach 2 material, negate the activation, and destroy it. So, awful. It's awful what this card does. And he's not done. He is not done. Grabs Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and then on top of that goes into IP. So, just to survey what we're up against right now. Before we draw, we have Omni Negate, basically, locked out of the extra deck, unknown fucking back row, and quick effect, flip all your monsters face down, and possibly a unicorn play if you wanted to. Don't really know what he was gonna do with the IP, but you know, it doesn't really matter. He could do whatever the fuck he wants. This is kind of a crazy ass board. Let's break it. First of all, perfect top deck. Let's turn this off. We're not going to go so fast. Perfect top deck. So the way we have to play around this, we got to activate a couple of cards, right? So we're going to start with Allure of Darkness. I got a feeling that he's probably going to negate the Allure, right? He's going to go ahead and activate IP. So I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm going to activate this. Now, Cosmic Cyclone. Even if I were to negate the Boral Load, only the Scrap Wyvern would go away because it's the only card that was equipped to Boral Load using its effect. This card would not go away. So I have to use my Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of this card. Even though I don't know what this is, I know what this is and it's stopping me from playing. So I have to get rid of this card. So, that being said, he's going to go ahead and activate Yugioh, which is great. Perfect. Now I don't have to worry about that. Throw away Aliber. And now, you're my bitch. You can't respond with a spell. You can't respond with a monster. You are done. You lose your Omni Negate. Everything's over. It's over. So now, you get to see how powerful Cosmic Cyclone is. We banished the Buster Lock. And now we have new card. Activate our Aliber. And now we are just doing the fucking plays. Now we're just doing the plays. Now, this is something that I did not notice during the game, and I don't think he noticed either, but I summon Aliber, activate Aliber. Aliber is the first card. It was I threw it away with Droplet. So, just to point that out, Aliber is in the grave. I activated this card. Summon, activate Tragedy. What a weird guy. How do you put up this type of board and you're not paying attention to the graveyard and you fucking you missed the opportunity to, you could have stopped all of this by negating the Aliber that was in the graveyard. Even with me doing what I did to these cards, I wouldn't have been able to do anything had he used that called by on the Aliber that's in the graveyard. But and then he uses it on Albaz for no reason at all, but it doesn't matter. Like I said before, this is a free monster. If you ever can do this play where you have Branded in red and somebody is threatening your Lubellion or your Albaz, you can dodge. You can dodge. Also, Call by the Grave wouldn't have done anything to Albaz, by the way. Like, even if he would have used Call by the Grave and my Albaz would have gone to the, banished zone, does not matter. Lubellion is still going to go off. I'm still going to be able to summon Mirror Jade. This card, doing that does absolutely nothing. So, just a fun fact. And now we have Mirror Jade. We activate Chimera. We activate Imp. He activates Tyranno. I activate Mirror Jade. And it's great. It's glorious. We get Tyranno out of here. And let's get popping. Search for this. Let's get popping and let's draw. Goodbye. This is, I cannot believe, I could not believe I got over this. Droplet is the best card in the game, clearly. We go into Attack Dragon just because we could have used these cards right here, but I was just like, I'll just go into Attack Dragon, fuck it. And we're gonna get rid of IP, get rid of Union Carrier. Now with one card in hand, I just searched for Brandon Lost just because like, what are you going to do? He goes for this. Obviously, I could have activated this in the draw phase and summoned another Tax Dragon, and he just would have been burning forever. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a negate. Another one. So, I choose to go into this. Of course, he searches for Miscellaneous Saurus, which doesn't really do anything. He's really just burning himself at this point. He doesn't have enough. He has one card in his hand. Now, this is what's hilarious. Activates Miscellaneous Saurus in the graveyard, right? He got 20 cards in his grave. 20 cards. He's going to use Miscellaneous Saurus' secondary effect, which is you can banish any number of dinosaur monsters, I mean, from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon one dinosaur monster from your deck with the level equal to the total number of monsters banished with that effect. But it gets destroyed in the end phase. So, what is Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's level? 10. So, how many dinosaurs does he need to get rid of in order to summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno? 10. He only has 8. He banishes all of them. He has no dinosaurs left. But he doesn't have enough to bring out Ultimate Conductor. So he loses. He had everything, and Droplet took it all for him. But it wasn't just Droplet. It was also Cosmic Cyclone. So let's get into my deck profile so I can show you guys what I put into this deck and how you can play the deck now to get past things like this. All right, so this is my deck now. I have teched in the 2 of the Cosmic Cyclone, teched in 1 Summon Limit. Out of all those duels, how many times did you see me get Summon Limit? So many, right? I got it so many times. So just running this card at 1, you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but look, the proof is right there. I said it. The Master Duel just seems to prioritize certain cards, and that's just gonna be my belief, and I feel like it shows right here. Like, I'm playing this card at 1. You saw it in like every single duel. 5 duels, and you saw it every single time. So at a 1 of Cosmic Cyclone came up, I believe, in 2 or 3 duels, run it at 2. Even Fairy Tale Snow, I see so many people who run Branded Despia and they do not run Fairy Tale Snow. There are times that you need to summon Albion. There are times that this happens. You need to summon this card, and if you don't have a light monster in your deck to do that, you kind of lose out on being able to do this, because this is a really good card to summon, sometimes when you need to. And using Fairy Tale Snow as material to do that, like if you have to use it for Branded Fusion, having Fairy Tale Snow in your graveyard, when is that never not a good thing? You know what I mean? So very, very good card to have in the deck. Not that it's a must, but I personally feel like you should be running it. So I would strongly recommend teching in these 3 cards right here. Back row removal is really important in every deck, and even though this deck is so offensively strong and you can FTK and OTK a lot with this deck, it doesn't mean that you won't need this. As strong as the deck is, if I didn't have Cosmic Cyclone in the last duel that I just showed, I would have lost the game. So take it for what it is. But that's the deck, that's the video. I appreciate everybody that came out to watch. Leave a like down below if you like what you saw. If you have any ideas about any decks that I should be running, or any decks that you want me to cover, let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, if you want to catch me, you're gonna catch me on Twitch. Link is in the description down below. Appreciate you guys so much. Peace.